everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And I just really, really appreciate that on such a rainy day, you guys show dedication and lots and lots of effort. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so my name is Yangyang Cheng. I'm the founder and CEO of Yoyo Chinese. Yoyo Chinese is an online Chinese language education company, and we focus on using videos to teach Chinese to students from all over the world. Our business model is subscription-based, which means students buy subscriptions to have full access to our video courses. We launched our site in 2012. Within 1 year, we reached six-figure sales, and we have been pretty much tripling our sales ever since, and now we're profitable. Today, I want to share with you the top 3 strategies that we use in our business that helped us achieve the kind of sales and growth that we have today. And hopefully, by the end of the talk, you'll actually be able to walk away with some really useful tactics you can apply to your business. And since we have a pretty small but very intimate crowd, so in the middle, I will take some questions, all right? Okay, so the strategy number 1 is build a strong email list. So these days, we have so many alternatives when it comes to marketing. We have social media, we have emails, we have blogs, we have Google Ads. And in face of all these opportunities and alternatives, which one should we focus on? So this is what I want to say. Compared to social media and other platforms, email is definitely not the most sexy one. However, it is by far the most effective means of marketing tool. Now let me ask you this question. Who here has heard of MySpace? Okay. Who here has heard of Friendster? Okay. Where are they now? Yeah. Okay, I don't know where they are, right? Just imagine, if you put in so much effort in those social media companies when they were there, your effort probably went down the drain already, right? However, remember, email is your asset. It will never go away. Social media comes and goes, but email is your permanent asset. So that's something you want to work on. Let me ask you another question. Who here has a Facebook account? LinkedIn, Twitter, okay, and Pinterest? Okay. I see like not everybody has a social media account, right? But who here has an email? Okay, everybody, okay? Email is still the most prevalent form of communication among people, so we can never underestimate emails. And plus, emails help us build relationships. These days, we can just no longer expect people to come to our site and fall in love at first sight with our product. It's just not possible, unless they already know exactly what they want and they're just doing some price shopping. So when they come to the site, usually they're checking out to see if we have something they offer. If not, they just close the window and they just leave, right? So it doesn't mean that we just throw our arms in the air and say, there's nothing we can do about it. We can capture their email address. So then we can start building a relationship afterwards with them and gradually educate them about our products. So that's the way to go, because this way we actually keep their attention. Last month, we launched our Black Friday sales, and 4-day sales alone pushed our monthly sales into 6 figures. And the reason we were able to do that was not only because we were offering a very significant discount at that moment. What happened was that over the year, we're building the relationship with our customers through our email. So when we offer them the right trigger, when we provide them a really strong incentive, and we naturally tip them over from one side, which is non-paying, to the other side, which is paying. But the groundwork had been built before we offered them that incentive. So the groundwork has to be there first. Okay, so now I hope that you understand the email is actually very, very important. So how do you build an email list? I'm not going to go through details here, but I can tell you that we're using MailChimp. Of all the email services that I've tried before, the email MailChimp is by far my favorite so far. And pretty much you just need to add an opt-in form on your landing page, and that will automatically connect the people's email address to the MailChimp email server. All right, so how do you, okay, when you have the email list, how do you use it? So for us, we have an email marketing system built in. Pretty much we have 2 layers. And on the bottom layer is our fundamental or foundational layer, which is our autoresponders. And on top of that, we also have our weekly email newsletter. So let me first talk about the autoresponders. So first, let's talk about what is an autoresponder. Have you guys ever heard of what an autoresponder is? Okay, good. Some of you guys. So basically, autoresponders are emails sent out automatically when certain events are triggered. For example, when someone puts in their email address, and their email address will be transferred to your MailChimp list, and automatically a welcome email can be sent out to them, so you don't have to do it manually. Like what I said earlier, so how do you attract them to sign up to your email list? You can offer them a really strong incentive, like a hook, right? For example, it's an ebook, or it's a video, or maybe it's even a chance to win a free lesson or a free consultation session with you. And so how you deliver that promise or that high value content is through the welcome email. You can just put in a link in the welcome email that will be automatically sent to the email subscriber. So for us, we have this 6 months of autoresponders built in, which means when someone signs up, instantly a welcome email will be sent to them, and 3 days after, 7 days after, a week after, and so on and so forth, until 6 months after, we have a sequence of emails that are building in our system. And what we do is that we're putting really, really high-value content in these emails. So our emails pretty much act like an automatic sales machine that does the work for us. So what we do is that we have a bunch of really, really high-quality information, and we put 70% of them at first, and just to give out for free in each email. Completely no strings attached. It's just purely high-quality information. And then for 20% of them, we're mixing in a little bit sales information. Like, for example, but we do it very artfully, I would say. For example, I will invite the student to watch a video, which is completely free. So I'm talking about the 20%. And then I'm going to say, hey, if you want to practice after watching the video or download some supplementary tools, you can find that information in our premium membership, which is a paid site. And afterwards, if they decide not to do anything like that, that's okay. You can just enjoy the free information. But if you are interested, and then you can just come to our site and become a premium member. And then for the 10%, and we have just purely sales information. Maybe, for example, offering them a discount at the end of 6 months, so can help them convert at the end of the 6 months. And the reason we designed this is because many people are not ready to buy until they really get a chance to use your product. So we give them a chance all throughout the email list and have them experience our product in a very tangible way. And then when they're ready to buy, and we offer them an incentive, and then they become our very loyal customers. Okay, so here there are a few things that are worth mentioning. And the first thing is that make sure everything that you send out is high quality information and quality content. You might have this question, say, if I just give out all the great stuff, like free stuff, why would they have any incentive to buy our paid content? So that's the question we had as well when we started the business. But gradually what I realized is that it's actually true that the more we give, the more we give back. And I'm not saying this just because it sounds nice. I'm saying this because it really works. Because actually the customer's real mentality is, if your free content is already this awesome, I can't even imagine how wonderful your paid content will be. And that's their mentality. So that's why we put out so much free content and make sure they're extremely, really well written. And we get a lot back, and we have lots of subscribers because of that. Another thing is, when you schedule your email sequence, make sure the best stuff comes out first, because it's like making that first great impression. And that pretty much sets the tone for the rest of your relationship. And you want your customers to start associating opening your email with receiving high valuable content. So then they will tend to always open your emails in the future. Because after all, the reason we collect these email addresses is because we want to start that communication with them. And if they don't even open our emails, and the communication stops right there. Okay? So that's our foundational layer, which is the bottom layer. And on top of that, we also have our regular emails that we send out every week. And that's our weekly newsletter. And for the regular emails we send out, and the information we put in there are usually the fresh new content we generate every week or every month. And they're usually our blogs, or sometimes it can even just a picture of me with my parents. You know, when I say I go to China, and this my family picture, and also, of course, sales information. For example, how we deliver the Black Friday sales discount information is through that email. But one thing we have to pay attention to is that we have to earn the right to send out the sales message. Pretty much for us, maybe every 10 emails we send out, maybe there's one email about our sales information, and the rest 9 are just purely free, high-quality content. And we need to earn the right. The thing is that when you build that relationship, at the end, the students actually want you to start introducing your product to them. They're ready. Okay, so that's our strategy number 1. And before I move on to strategy number 2, let me see if you guys have any questions. I'll take 1 or 2. Okay, yes.
When you do an email campaign, when you capture an email, a lot of people really use what they call throwaway email because they just want to get the stuff.
Could you repeat the question?
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm a mobile app developer. Okay, my question is, when you engage an email marketing campaign, when you capture email, you often get tons of throwaway email. You can tell it's a throwaway email, and how to avoid people doing so. And yeah.
That's a very good question. Thank you. So what we do is that we make sure the very first email people get is a very high-quality content email. For example, the very first email we send to our customers is this. The subject line is called "My 2 Gifts to You." And in this email, it includes 2 things. Number 1 thing is the ebook that I spent months writing. And I could have easily sold that ebook for $10 on Amazon, but I didn't. I give that out for free. And then the second gift I gave them is this called a pinyin cheat sheet, which is the pronunciation guide, and pretty much the students can use as like a Bible for the rest of their journey. These are extremely valuable content. So once they open that email, they're thinking, oh, it's because the reason they give you their email because they want to get that gift, right? Because that's the hook, that's the incentive that you're offering them in exchange for their email. So when they get that content, they really, really think, oh, it's so high, it's such a high quality content. They probably want to either sign up again with a real email address, or they're probably going to check that email more often because that receiving an email from you means high quality content. So that's how we do it. Yes?
I'm Pat. I've got an easy question and then a challenging one. First, many of us are really jaded by internet marketing. And I can't tell you how many times I've clicked on a link that you'll get a free, monthly stock reports or something. So you click your way down in, you give them the name of your dog and your children and, your mailing address, although it's all going to be online, but they want to know where you live, your phone number. And finally, it turns out that you'll get that free month if you sign up for $39 worth of something else. So the question is, you've been at this, I presume, for a while. Is there any group, like the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval, that your company would subscribe to that would tell the customer that you don't engage in these unethical business practices?
Interesting question. So you want to
That's the first question.
Okay. So what we do is that first, when it comes to capturing someone's email address, you want to keep the opt-in form as simple as possible. Don't try to ask lots of questions like what's your favorite dog, or what's your location. Just skip all the unnecessary information. And if you just only ask them for their one email address, the worst case scenario, they can unsubscribe. So it's not like a huge risk for them. So.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt. I know that you're doing the right thing. It sounds like you're doing the right thing. The question is, are you aware of any group, any internet group that polices this kind of activity that a business such as you would subscribe to be able to have their seal of approval on your homepage?
I'm not really aware of that, to be honest. Sorry about that.
The second question, a little more difficult, is your company teaches Chinese language. Is your content affected by the national government of China? Like, do you have Tiananmen Square involved in your site, or?
We are a purely language site, and we talk about culture as well, but we don't talk about politics. Yeah. Okay, so after this question, we're going to move to strategy 2, and at the end, I will take more questions.
I know you've been very successful as a reporter and as a media personality in China, in the media, such as Access Hollywood, equivalent in China. How do you use that in your work? How do you use your fame? How do you use your media power to have a?
It's an interesting question. Most of my fans are actually in China, not really here. So, I'm sorry. Actually, most of my fans are actually in China. So when I started the business, I couldn't really leverage my fan base actually in the US. I pretty much had to build it from the ground up. But the good thing is that I think how the reporting experience helped me, just I'm a little bit more comfortable in front of camera. So, yeah. Mike.
I'll save some for later because I know you want to move on. But what are the characteristics, a two-part question, what are the characteristics of MailChimp that you like it better than some of the other services, since that's...
I used Constant Contact, and I have some other people who use, I used iContact, and some of my friends are using Constant Contact. I had a lot better experience with MailChimp. I'm not sure about other services, but MailChimp is extremely intuitive to learn, and it's very cute. I love to receive emails from them because it's all about always about little monkey, doing something for your business. So it's really cute.
But that's you as a business receiving them.
Say it again?
You like MailChimp the way they contact you, but why in terms of getting your email out to the world?
Oh.
Do you like MailChimp?
I do. Their autoresponders are very easy to set up, and everything, the experience I have with them has been very smooth. So there are lots of detail that go into it, but it's wonderful service.
Do you have anything to say about subject lines in email? Because I personally consider those the most critical thing.
Absolutely.
And, subject lines that say seminar tomorrow. I don't even open them. I want at least a date there for that kind of purpose. Yours is different. Maybe you've got something else.
Absolutely. When you use MailChimp, we constantly check our statistics. The statistics include the open rate and the click-through rate. If your open rate is low, it probably means that your subject line needs some work. At the very beginning, we were struggling with that as well, and we were trying to use some really generic subject line like weekly newsletter. That nobody opens that. And when we start changing to something like how to do something, but first, when you use those subject line, you really need to understand your customer's problems first, and then you use the subject line to address their problems directly. For example, most of our problems have problems pronouncing a certain pinyin pronunciation, like the difficult ones. And our subject line, we will say how to correctly pronounce these things. So you have to really understand your customers first before you design those subject lines. And occasionally, you can use something called create a knowledge gap. For example, occasionally we'll send an email saying, I hate it when people tell me this. And then the open rate just really rises because people say, what do you hate, right? But you cannot do that often because then people get tired of it. The how-to is a good example, I think. All right, so let me move on, and then we can have more questions. All right, so the strategy number 2 is help your customers visualize the result of using your product and give them a clear path to achieve that result. You know, as entrepreneurs, that we love our products. And we think as long as we clearly and accurately communicate the features and benefits of our product, and we just need to wait for the customers to show up, and then they'll buy. We thought that way as well until we realized that our customers don't really care about our products. Instead, they care about the result our products bring them. So having realized that, we changed our strategy. We shifted our strategy from selling our product to selling the result. So this, and also we made sure we packaged the result in a very tangible way so our customers can feel it, our customers can see themselves in the result. So this is what we did. First, we filmed a short video of 2 people having a conversation completely in Chinese, only using the phrases and sentences that were taught in our beginner conversational Chinese. And we made it very clear to our customers that once you finish our program, you'll be able to speak Chinese just like that. And the second thing we did is that we sent an email to our customers, existing customers, encouraging them to submit videos speaking Chinese. And we ended up getting a dozen really high-quality Chinese-speaking videos. After we had these videos, we put them on our website. We share them through our social media, and we promote them through our email list. And the result is that we had instant sales. Like, the sales went up like triple. And the reason it works is because before, when we say, hey, you can achieve Chinese conversational fluency, basic Chinese conversational fluency in 6 months, and everybody just thinks that just sounds like an empty promise. But once we start showing them that actually you can do it, using the videos, and then the result suddenly becomes a lot more tangible, a lot more real, a lot more believable, and concrete as well. And the students start seeing themselves in the result, and they get really motivated and excited at the same time. And here's another example. A few months ago, we were trying to find a solution to convert our existing website to its mobile version. And eventually, we came down to these 5 websites that were offering the similar service. Eventually, we decided to go with a specific one. And the reason was that while the other 4 websites were all talking about how great their products were, their features and benefits, this website asked us to input our email, our URL website address, and instantly showed us the result and showed us what our website would look like on a mobile phone. And instantly we hooked, and we were committed as well. So the lesson here is sometimes we know so clearly what the result is, but we don't go that extra mile to help our customer visualize the result. We just say, hey, go imagine the result. But what we need to do is really, really trying hard to find how we can help our customers really see the result in their head and feel it and experience it. And that's very, very important. And after we got those videos, we did something new again. We created something called Daily Study Schedule, which is basically a day-by-day breakdown of exact tasks that students can do every day in order to achieve the result, the goal. And the reason we do that is because for an industry like ours, where Chinese is considered the most difficult language to learn in the world, just simply showing them the results is not enough because it's not consistent with their expectations. So in order to validate that result, we have to create a path that shows our students, hey, the result is there, but this is what you do to get there. So by creating that really clear path, you help validate the result. You make the result look even more achievable. And not only our industry uses this tactic, but for example, like weight loss industry. They not only show you the before and after, they will actually provide you a daily exercise and diet plan. So you know it's real, it's not just bogus material. All right, so in an ending comment about the strategy, I want to say that as an entrepreneur, sometimes we're so deeply involved in our own product, we know everything about it, but we forgot that our customers don't care about it as much as we do. So we just need to jump out of our normal thinking mode and really put ourselves in the customer's shoes and see from their perspective, see what they want to achieve in the end, and really help them see that end, validate the result. And if your industry has like a result that's usually considered as very difficult to achieve, then you better supplement that, your result, with a very clear path so that they can see both how to get there and where they're going. So that's my strategy number 2. And I'm going to move to strategy number 3, and then we're going to take questions. All right? Okay. So strategy number 3, leverage social proof. All right. Social proof is everywhere in our life. And then you probably see it and not even aware of it. Let's say you drive by 2 restaurants. One is completely empty and the other one has a really long line. You probably think that the restaurant with a long line probably has good service, has good food, and completely ignore the one that's empty, right? I learned my lesson of social proof a few years back when I was helping my friend, New York Times best-selling author, at his Comic-Con booth in San Diego. And he was selling some merchandise there. At that time, I was not aware of social proof at all. So when there were so many friends coming to the booth and the line started getting longer and longer, I was like really nervous. I was like, oh no, the line's getting longer and longer. It's going to turn people away. We got to make it shorter. Nobody likes to wait. So I told my author friend, I said, okay, you got to talk to your friends a little bit less so we can make the line move faster. And my author friend, who was equally unaware of social proof, agreed. And so the result was the line was getting shorter and shorter until the point that nobody came to the booth anymore. I was like, oh, that was a mistake. So we changed our strategy. And I told my friend, okay, spend even more time talking to each friend. And then gradually, one at a time, and we started building that line. The line was getting longer and longer. Eventually, the line got so long, it started circling the blog. You know what? And nobody left. Nobody complained. And even more people joined. Well, it sounds really counterintuitive, right? Why would you purposely keep people waiting? But the thing is, that's exactly why those bars and clubs keep a really long line outside while it's completely empty inside. Because those really long lines are social proof in action. We just tend to believe that what other people think is good is indeed good. And that's why we always check out Amazon reviews, Yelp reviews before we make any purchase. And that's why we always pick the videos with most views on a YouTube search. And even myself, who's fully aware of the effect of social proof, I'll still probably end up being that sucker who joins a really long line and totally ignores the one that nobody visits, the place that nobody visits. So getting social proof is extremely important for your business. So you need to add that element into your business. So I'm going to talk to you about how we did it in our business, how we leverage social proof. Okay. So what we do is that on our website, we have a really wonderful video testimonial. And probably all of you know that it's extremely important to have a testimonial, right? But let me tell you, if you can have a video testimonial, that's going to work 10 times, 100 times better than text testimonial. And the reason is a video testimonial makes it a lot more authentic. While people can fake text testimonial, it's really hard to fake a video testimonial. So if you can do that, that'd be the best. But just in case you can have a video testimonial, and when it comes to text testimonial, at least have 3 elements. First, you really need to have an image of your customer. And second, you need to have a full name. And third, you need to have some specific information of them. maybe it's their location, maybe it's their occupation, but you need to have these 3 elements for your testimonial to look authentic and real. Okay, so what testimonials are considered powerful and effective? And we follow these 3 criteria. The number 1 criteria, your customers need to see themselves in the testimonial. And if you want to get some inspirations about this point, go to WeightWatchers.com and go to their success story. They're very effective. One of the testimonials is from this lady who says, the best part of losing weight is knowing that I'm an active part of my daughter's life. So for overweight people, probably when they see that thing, they can imagine themselves start getting more active with their loved ones. So that's what I say by the customers need to see themselves in the testimonial. And the second criteria is that you need to have lots of specifics. One of our most powerful testimonial for us is that our student says I wake up at 6:30 in the morning, I watch your video for an hour, and then I drive to work. On my way to drive to work, I listen to your audio, and for lunch I do this, at night I do this. It's very, very specific, you can't fake that. It's like so authentic. That works. And the third criteria is it has to be result-driven. Well, we have a student who mentions, after using your program, I traveled to Beijing, talking to people, and I can have a conversation with Chinese people without using any gesture or English. And that is result-driven, and our customers are very motivated by that. What kind of questions can you ask to get those powerful testimonials? So these are the questions we put in the emails. For example, like, what result did you get after using our program? What do you like most about our program? Would you recommend our courses and why? So these are important questions you can ask. People will tend to give you the answers that are very powerful. All right. Now you might have the question saying that, oh, I don't really have that kind of like following, or how do I start doing this testimonial thing? So my answer is 1 at a time. So for us, when I start the business, I pretty much talk to 50 customers every single year. Each person, I spend half an hour to an hour talking to them. And I get to know them, I don't even know their dog's name. And the thing is that at the end, when I need help, when we need help, we reach out to them. They really, really respond. If you haven't time, just check out this article called 1,000 True Fans on the internet. Basically talks about if you have 1,000 really loyal fans, and they will carry you through your journey, like your whole career. So really personally invest in your customers and know them, and they will be there for you when you need them. So that's my strategy number 3.
Hi, my name's Carl. I do digital marketing. And so I totally get the value of the email database for communicating and converting, but I'm curious what tactics you use in the first place to generate that lead, what you're finding to be the most successful, and if you happen to know, just generally speaking, what your cost per acquisition is to get someone converted.
So you're saying that how do we bring the people to our site in the first place?
Yeah, how do you get the email in the first place?
Okay. At first, I think that you really need to have like quality traffic in the first place. And once you have that quality traffic, you really have to understand your source. Okay, first let me talk about where our traffic comes from. At the very beginning, most of our majority traffic comes from YouTube because we post so much free content. So you have to find what medium is good for your specific industry and really focus on that specific platform. And then gradually you drive traffic from YouTube. For now, we diversify our traffic not only from YouTube, but our traffic comes from everywhere. But once you drive that traffic, it's very, very important for you to know that you need to know what people's expectations are. So you craft your message to accommodate that. Let me give you a really simple example here. I talked about the mobile conversion site earlier, right? It's so funny, like when I went to this specific website and they had this really long video and 2 minutes talking about why converting your website into its mobile version is important. I was getting so sick of it. I was like, I'm here. I know it's important. You don't need to tell me that. My expectation is to find the solution. Tell me why you're good or show me the result, right? So you really have to understand your source. So what awareness level they're at. Are they aware of your product or are they not? Or are they even aware there's a solution there? So there's a different awareness level you have to know before you cater your message. So for us, when people come to our site, at first, our tagline, we changed our tagline a few times. At first, we were saying, oh, here you can actually learn Chinese for free for 2 weeks. And then it was not working well. People were not signing up. Why? And eventually we realized that because most people who came from YouTube expect our service to be free because there's already free stuff there. And when they come to our site, they were thinking, what? Free for 2 weeks? Does it mean I need to pay afterwards? Then they will be like, screw this, I'm leaving, right? And then eventually we started crafting our message saying, you know what, come to our site. There's more free videos for you. And that caters to that expectation. And then when they sign up, we show them more free videos. We gradually educate them about our products. But at least there, we know what they want and we give them more of that. Make sense?
Yeah. So is YouTube the primary driver for you?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you using any other?
Recently, we start using Amazon as well. We posted some free ebooks on Amazon, and we start translating the Amazon traffic to our own website traffic.
So primarily content.
Content, for sure. High quality one. Yes.
Yes, hi. My name's Graham. One of the things that I've noticed is that nearly everybody I speak to, and it goes back to similar to what Pat said, I get so many emails that I just don't even get a chance to look at it. Then you look at the way Google has gone and structured Gmail so that you can take your primary and then you can have updates and you have promotions and everything. And I'll be honest with you, I never look at the updates. I never look at the promotions. I rarely look at the social because I'm busy looking at my primary and dealing with that. So I saw some statistics recently that showed that the actual response to direct mail is now better than it's ever been and way better than that on email. So are you finding that the marginal productivity of your emails is decreasing over time because of these sort of trends?
First, let me talk a little about the Gmail because I know they do have 3 tabs. But the good thing is that when it comes to your email, it shows. I think it still shows on your phone, right? I don't think they separate the promotional.
No, on your phone it doesn't. But I mean, you can put a lot more tabs on the email. It comes out with standard 3. I've got 5 and 6 on some of mine.
Yeah, to answer your question, we do. I'm highly aware that actually there is because companies are getting smarter about separating business from personal emails. What we do is that when we have that really high quality content to be delivered on the first email, we also make very clear to our customers, please drag our email to your main folder if you want to keep receiving quality content from us. So we prevent that from happening from their first email. Yeah.
Yeah, Pat again. A quick question. You mentioned the Black Friday, and can you share some of your experience on how you set your price points? For instance, do you send some offers to some of your email customers and see if they respond and send better offers to other email customers to figure out what your program's going to be?
For us, we don't really distinguish. We have several email lists. We have a free email list, free members email list, and we have like prime paying members email list. And we have a blog email list. We have several email lists. When we do our Black Friday sales, we just send an email to everybody because the new members, we want them to join us. And for the old members, we want them to retain, and we want them to renew. So we don't really distinguish.
I mean, do you use test emails to figure out what your price point is?
Oh, I see.
Do you have enough of a discount to really grab the market?
I see. We don't really do discount very often. We do twice a year, like Black Friday sales and back to school sales. For back to school sales, we're offering like 20% off, and Black Friday sales, we offer 40% off. Yeah, we found that 40% is a really good point to convert people without us, going below our cost. So, yeah.
Any more questions?
You sort of alluded to doing. Okay. That was good grief. You sort of alluded to taking some data on the kind of responses you get. do you envision taking more? Are your volumes enough to justify it without asking what your volumes are? In other words, I had a client, for instance, back in the old box software days, who Tiger said, we'll take you on. And they sent out, in their case, of course, they're very big, 500,000 test emails divided into 10 groups across 10 demographic groups. And everything I've read about successful sales, taking the good data seems to be very critical, at least once your volumes are up beyond where you can eyeball it. So do you have any plans to go farther?
I have to be honest, I am not a tech person, so I'm not extremely sensitive towards number. I have a general picture if we're doing well, we're not doing well. So we know where our traffic comes from, what's the general traffic every day, conversion rate, this and that. So to answer your question, yes, I do plan to do that because now the new people we're going to hire are going to have like a higher tech background. They're probably going to be more sensitive towards analysis and data. I'm not that person. But I think that these days, we do have to rely on data to direct our decisions, for sure.
Hi, my name is Larry. By the way, I went to your website, and one of the things that impressed me the most was your golden rule.
Okay.
Meaning how Chinese is more similar to English in structure in some ways than we thought. So that's enticing. But how do you make your videos? Do you get a professional? Do you do it in-house? Or to make them enticing?
Oh, yeah. Now we have a production team, we have a studio, we have a green screen, so everything is done professionally. But when I started doing it, it was just me doing the editing, doing the script writing, doing the shooting. And I remember I bought these like 2 really hot work lights from Home Depot. And I have this like I pretty much painted the wall to be green. And I remember for every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, like I do a shoot, I have to like turn off all the lights and take a breath because I was just like sweating. I was like vomiting. It is hard at the beginning. But I think at the very beginning, you just do everything yourself and gradually you can add people to the team. Yeah.
What are your suggestions as far as testimonial videos? How long should they be? Should they be pre-written or just off the cuff and edited?
That's a good question. For us, since we have the editor, who can help us do that, we keep our videos shorter than 2 minutes. Just make sure. I think that regardless what kind of videos you do, especially when it comes to sales video, it needs to be kept below 2 minutes. But if you don't have the editing capacity, just put your video out there. And unless like the customer is saying something that you think might not be very beneficial for the business, you can cut that part out. But just any video testimonial is better than not having a video testimonial. Okay.
It's really not a question. It's just to say your talk is an example of giving valuable content. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And this will be our last question.
Okay.
My name is Shu. Actually, I also saw your YouTube video. You have very well elaborated. You give for me, I'm born in the United States and speak English. I will take this class.
Thank you.
Most people tell me it's very hard. The first message you show to things, this is very easy. It's not so hard as what people think. So actually, I also talk a little bit about your company framework. You start by yourself. Everything was done by yourself. So how about now? So how many people deal with content and how many people deal with marketing? So what's your current company framework?
So far, we have a content team. We have product development team, which is focused on courses, and we have a marketing team as well. And until this point, I'm still doing lots of admin stuff, which I don't like to do. So that's something that I'm trying to just outsource more and more. I hope that answers your question. I would say a third dealing with the content, a third dealing with marketing, and a third dealing with the PR or general admin stuff. Yeah. Cool?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was a really great presentation. Thank you. Let me get a picture with you with the group.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you ready? And your marks, get set, go.